always feel like I know what I'm doing until I'm told I don't.
Something had gotten off. I'm not sure what.
I was about to throw down a number, but it's football field. I could throw a flag and say what yard you were on. Stuff happens. When in,
I did too. That bottle was here when I got here.
that's Van Houten's.
That bottle was here when I got here. Should we report this to fan misconduct? Text 626-400-5119 with details.
Yes.
Is that some fan misconduct right there?
I remember actually doing that once at Dodger Stadium. Nothing happened.
Really? Seriously, like that name has forever been marred.
What do you call a
Karen?
male
Oh.
Karen? I forgot.
Chat, I think.
All right, guys.
I think it's a chat.
False alarm.
Wait.
Sometimes they don't correct me.
Yes. Yes.
Salamgidi. Yeah.
Anybody want to get some more pictures in before we get started? You waited a year for this. Let's get some more pictures in. Everybody ready? Let's go ahead and get started. Good morning, graduates, honored guests, trustees, faculty, staff, and the family and friends of the Southwestern Law School class of 2020. I'm Charles Fairchild. I'm the chair of the Board of Trustees, and it is my honor to welcome each of you to the iconic Rose Bowl Stadium for Southwestern's 105th annual commencement ceremony, also known as your first reunion. To begin the ceremony, it is my pleasure to introduce Ms. Joy Lakin of Southwestern's evening class of 2021, who will sing the national anthem. Please join me. You may stand, sit, kneel, sing along, or wave your own flag if you brought one. Ms. Lakin.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free
Thank you, Ms. Lakin. Ms. Lakin also sang the anthem 2 weeks ago for the class of 2021's graduation. So in career performances at the Rose Bowl, Ms. Lakin just passed Beyonce. But today we celebrate the accomplishments of Southwestern's 105th graduating class, the class of 2020, a year that will live in infamy. Last year you were at the spear tip of the global pandemic. Not only were you going through the same hardships the rest of us were going through, but you had to finish law school, pass the bar, and get a new job in a new profession, which a lot of you were doing from a multi-generational home. But you graduated, you passed the bar in record numbers, and you got employed in record numbers. And I have some good news for you. That first legal job is the hardest one to get. If you represent yourself well and represent Southwestern well, your next legal jobs will find you. Southwestern has turned out intrepid graduates throughout its history. It was founded for brilliant, driven students to be able to get a legal education regardless of any adversity. And as a class, your class may have dealt with the most adversity as any graduating class in our history. And yet you were able to achieve what you set out to do in spite of it all. And the rest of us are here today to recognize you and your extraordinary achievements. Congratulations. Now it is my pleasure to present our President and Dean, Susan Westerberg Prager.
Thank you, Chair Charles Fairchild. It's an amazing feeling to stand here in this extraordinary place with so many of us together after we were so abruptly separated more than 14 months ago. We never got to say goodbye to you, to thank you for committing yourselves to the legal profession and for supporting one another through your law school years. We never got to celebrate you. And you and those closest to you were not able to be together to look back on the sacrifice and the hard work and to celebrate such a significant achievement. But here we are at last. So I'd like to ask the graduates to stand now and face their families and friends and applaud them with thanks to them. Hopefully, we're on the verge of having many, many more opportunities to be together. As we're beginning today, I do want to thank the Rose Bowl staff and management. They hadn't had a graduation in modern memory, and probably for good reason, but they took a chance on Southwestern. So 2 weeks ago, the class of 2021 graduated here, and now you all are here. This took an incredible amount of fast planning, and that planning was led by two exceptional members of our staff, well known to the graduates, Marcy Canal and Katrina Garcia. This winter, they were, of course, assuming that we would be required to have a virtual event. They spent considerable time looking at what a partial virtual event might look like. They searched out countless venue options. Nothing seemed to meet our standards. And ultimately, of course, Marcy and Katrina realized that we needed to try to execute an in-person event, particularly given the fact that California's situation was improving and vaccinations had been administered to so many. They also knew what this day could mean to you and your families. Marcy and Katrina, on behalf of all of us here, but especially the graduates and their families, you are two remarkable young women. Your commitment and professionalism, not to mention your grace under extreme and continuing pressure, is awesome. Personally, I've come to think of the two of you as role models for all of the rest of us. And in addition to thanking you, I want to thank all the Southwestern staff who are here today helping us make your graduation special. Most of all, though, I want to thank you, our graduates. You let us know loud and clear that a virtual graduation was just not appropriate for you. And despite the long wait and the early hour, looking at all of you who are here to celebrate with your families and one another, we all see how right you were. Warm congratulations, members of Southwestern's class of 2020. For some of our graduates today, Southwestern is not only a part of their personal history, it's also a part of their family history. We have 8 graduates in the class of 2020 who have one or more family members who have a unique appreciation for what earning your law degree at Southwestern means. Torchbearer graduates are students whose immediate family members are Southwestern alums, faculty, or staff. I'd like to ask the Torchbearer graduates and their Southwestern-affiliated family members in the stands to stand now to be recognized. Thank you. 222 students graduated from Southwestern in 2020. 214 of you earned the basic degree in law, the JD, and 8 earned the Master's of Laws. All of them were in the general LLM program. There were 132 day students, 30 evening graduates, 11 pleas and part-time day students, and 41 scale students who graduated with a JD. And even now, more than a year after you completed your courses and moved on with your lives, there are 89 of you who made this special effort to be here today. I'd like to now recognize our graduates who are present today and the programs they represent. First, would our full-time day program JD graduates stand now? Thank you. Would our evening program JD graduates please stand? Many of our evening program students work full-time or near full-time while attending law school. Would the JD candidates from our 2 part-time day programs, including our path-breaking pleas program designed for students with childcare or elder care responsibilities, please stand? There. I think that group wins the prize for the largest percentage of the graduates participating today. And now to the SCALE program. This program is specially designed to teach all of the material that most of us take 3 years or 4 years to complete and do it by running year-round for 2 years. The SCALE students in the program, would you please stand in the graduating group? Yes. And we had 9 graduate law degrees awarded in this class from the General Studies program. These LLM students came from Argentina, China, Ecuador, Honduras, England, and the US. Despite their far-flung locales, now there are two who are here today. Would those graduates please stand? Thank you. Well, while it is such a long-delayed congratulations, the trustees, faculty, and staff who are here to honor you all appreciate how abruptly you were cut off from your natural and exciting conclusion of your law school experience when the stay-at-home orders were issued in the middle of spring break with, I think, only about 5 weeks of class left to go in your entire legal education. Nonetheless, you and your faculty, with the help of our staff, managed to complete your final term, enabling you to finish law school on schedule. And here we are now, in an effort to at long last make up the loss of the culminating event you would have had a year ago, and to do that with you in this incredible historic space that Southwestern has never been able to use before is special. As I stand here in this space, so beautifully designed by architect Myron Hunt and completed in the fall of 1922, I think about our young founder, John Schumacher, who a decade earlier wanted to do his part to prepare for what he forecast as dramatic growth in Los Angeles. He saw that on the horizon, and by the time this stadium opened, Southwestern had started its 11th year, its second decade at the time this was completed. For our founder, and these things will seem more normal today, but they were radical for his time, he wanted a law school where anyone who had the capacity and the drive to go to law school could attend. For him, that meant women as well as men, people of all races, and immigrants. Think about the anti-immigrant sentiments that dominated the period before and after World War I. It also meant working people. So his Southwestern assumed that everyone would be working. And all of these years since, Southwestern has followed the path our founder established and been a place where hard-driving, committed people can come to law school even though they didn't do everything perfectly as undergrads. Working with the Rose Bowl staff and policies, Marcy and Katrina artfully balanced our need for safety with our emotional need for celebration. We now know that we could have had many more guests, but at the time of this planning, that was a part of our agreement. So I'm glad that because the numbers were smaller today, some of you all were able to add guests. But we know there are many others you would have liked to have had. And we hope you will share with them, how much we would have liked to have had everyone. But we all are sharing the excitement of being here, whether they're here or virtually with us. And this venue evokes the beauty and the excitement that drew people to Southern California ever since the Santa Fe Railroad connected the Los Angeles region to the Midwest and the East. So it's special to be here for lots and lots of reasons. Now to the faculty. No school, no law school could be what it is without a dedicated, concerned, and effective faculty. And Southwestern's faculty is exceptional in the strength of its commitment to teaching in and out of the classroom, as well as in its capacity and commitment to helping students enter the profession. That commitment was, of course, tested in a previously unthinkable way when in the middle of spring break last year, the faculty were advised that they had 5 days to shift to remote teaching. Think of it. At that point, many of us had never even heard of Zoom, but others on our faculty had been experimenting with distance methods, using them in their classrooms, including the late Al Calnan. So together, you, our students, and the faculty did your best. As a person who came to the role of dean from outside Southwestern, I've been so impressed by the depth of this faculty's commitment to your development and your success. And as I prepared for this graduation, I thought about a particular and dramatic instance of how much the faculty cares about you. Faculty members, I think about those long faculty meetings we had over Zoom, where we struggled to determine what grading policy should be used for the spring semester. What is most vivid in my mind then and now is how deeply the faculty cared about you. They appreciated your disrupted circumstances, and they wanted to accommodate your needs. All around the country, faculties were very quickly deciding to do pass-fail mandatory for everyone. But this faculty wanted to be sure that you emerged with what you came to Southwestern for. Our faculty was aware that our students had different perspectives based on the different circumstances they were facing. They appreciated those differences and in the end chose to grade in a way that would empower each one of you to recognize your varied circumstance, to use your best judgment, but to also give you the feedback and the choice of having the appraisal recorded. In other words, your faculty chose to let you decide what would be formalized as a grade, but where each student would know the content of the appraisal and make a decision about how you want to go forward. An unprecedented, in my experience, individual process. And one, frankly, that involved more work for the faculty who were grading, something that was pointed out in those faculty discussions by a member of the faculty. Nonetheless, this faculty put you first because it was important to let each one of you show your records to the greatest advantage in your job searches and to communicate with you as an individual how you had performed, where you were strong, where you needed to improve. So I've seen this faculty's student-centered perspective regularly for 8 years. So I'd like to join you in thanking them. Will the faculty rise now so that this graduating class can recognize you for your vision, your expertise, and your dedication to teaching and mentoring this class? Southwestern also has an exceptional board of trustees. This group is primarily, but not exclusively, Southwestern alums. And part of their role in guiding this very special law school is ensuring that a person like me, coming from the outside, understands what a treasure this law school truly is and how it differs from many of our peers. Seated to the graduates' right, members of the board are with us this morning. Would you all please stand? So we have Mies Semken, Jemai Graham, Betty Kalfas, Tom Driscoll. Thank you for being here. So despite the weird and often frustrating circumstances and constraints we've faced, perhaps because we've at last come together, I think we can now see and celebrate that this has been a remarkable graduating class, as Chair Fairchild so artfully introduced in his remarks. You didn't only finish law school in the face of tremendous disruption. That disruption continued. You were supposed to take the bar in July. Then it was going to be September. Then there was an early October date. Wonder whether that one will happen. You didn't just take the bar. You were ready. You didn't wonder whether it was going to happen. You stayed the course. You kept preparing for the first remotely administered bar exam, and you passed at the highest rate in Southwestern's modern history. And, you know, you didn't just do that. You also, your pass rate exceeded the California ABA-approved law school average. You kept going, you didn't give up, you kept studying, you showed the grit and determination that characterizes Southwestern students and graduates. But you have the equally unusual experience now, and we all have it, of you graduating after a very large number of you have already passed the dreaded California bar exam and become members of the bar. Maybe a way to make the point about how unique this graduation is to ask you sitting there to think, if you were facing your first bar exam in just a matter of weeks, how much would you really be enjoying today? So this is a celebration like none other. You know, during the exam, you faced challenges as well, but you didn't let the technology challenges destabilize you. In fact, it's my understanding that when all else failed, one of you even had the presence of mind to use social media when the methods she was using was directed to be using didn't work. To get word to the bar, I think she went to social media, and that worked. Most of you, of course, got the job done in October. Then in February, 81% of Southwestern's second-time takers passed. That was 17 people. 14 of those 17 are in this graduating class. So after only 2 attempts, you know, how special is this? I reached out to our bar passage faculty, and most of you have worked with at least one and probably more of them over the Southwestern years. And they told me very concretely how they felt. One of them said, "I was so impressed with their perseverance and dedication to bar prep in light of the constant setbacks and disappointment, all the while managing the uncertainty of an unprecedented pandemic, stay-at-home order, and online bar. They were professional and they had amazing optimism while facing such tumultuous circumstances." Another spoke of the fantastic gift you all have given Southwestern. Another said they had perseverance combined with passion for the long-term goal. How well this will stand you in your careers, these qualities. You provide an example for us all. In total, more than 90% of those of you in the class of 2020 who took the bar have passed. On behalf On behalf of the faculty and staff and so many graduates, we so admire and appreciate what you've done for yourselves, your families, and the reputation of your school. And we're excited that today we not only celebrate your graduation, we can truly celebrate your entry into the profession as well. So it is with a heightened sense of pride in our Southwestern community, and particularly this graduating class, that I now introduce your student speakers. Southwestern's custom is to turn to a panel of faculty and staff to select the graduating class speaker, note singular, speaker, based on academic achievement, law school and community involvement, and the actual content of the proposed graduation remarks. In the case of your class, as Marcy and Katrina rushed to prepare for this long-delayed event, 2 class members were so impressive in their proposed remarks that for the only time in the history of this process, when the appraisals were tallied, there was a tie. The only time that's happened. Dante and Brandon, I'm told that before the committee's ratings were compiled, committee members were excitedly talking about how just maybe there could be 2 of you this year. Well, I want to say on behalf of all of us, thank you for taking the time to compete for the role you're about to play in this celebration, and we're so eager to hear from both of you. I'm honored first to present in alphabetical order Dante Paul. Dante grew up in South Central Los Angeles. He earned his undergraduate degree in political science with an emphasis on public policy from UC San Diego in 2015. During his undergraduate years, he did an internship at the U.S. Department of Education in Washington, D.C., where he worked on a White House initiative focused on educational excellence for African Americans. He also engaged in a sustained year-long involvement on a UC San Diego community labor project. Dante is currently, I think, meeting both of his aspirations, his dual aspirations of working in the entertainment industry, but also to be involved in bringing about justice and social change. He's currently working as an attorney and consultant in the entertainment industry, and also works in the employment law field with Angel City PC. At Southwestern, we know him as a highly visible vice president and then co-president of the Southwestern Black Law Students Association, where he demonstrated his sustained and strong commitment to improving Southwestern on issues of race and justice. His excellence in negotiation as a first year led to his participation in the negotiation honors program, and he interned in the business and legal affairs office at Universal Music Publishing Music Group during law school. Dante is clearly a person who gets a lot done and who is able to pursue these multiple priorities in an effective way. I'm tremendously honored, as I call him to the podium, to be able to count him as a Southwestern alum and as one of your class speakers, Dante Paul.
Hey. I see you, Mama. Thank you for having me. Welcome. My name is Dante Paul, and first and foremost, I would like to thank God for granting me the ability to speak at this commencement. This is truly a blessing, and I am truly grateful to be able to share my story with you all. Now to our family and friends, thank you for just being here. Thank you for your guidance, and thank you for your unconditional love and support. Thank you for believing in us, and we would not be here without you all. So thank you again. You are truly appreciated. I would also like to thank the faculty, the staff, and the administration for providing us with the resources, the knowledge, and the space to follow our dreams. Thank you for being our foundation. Now, I can't forget to thank our bar prep programs, and especially my bar prep program, Legally Fit. Thank you for putting us in a position to win and for providing us with the tools to pass the California bar. You know, that was really clutch, so thank you. And last but no doubt not least, I would like to thank the Southwestern class of 2020. Thank you for being the best that you can be, for pulling all-nighters, for reading thousands of pages of case law while managing to stay sane in this treacherous journey to become an Esquire. Thank you. This past year or so has been a roller coaster, and I want to send my condolences to the families who have lost their loved ones during this time. I would also like to send my love and encouragement to the families who have struggled to maintain in a time where support was little to none and hatred ran rapid. You are all truly strong, and I'm inspired by your perseverance. Now to the class of 2020. We are the class of the pandemic. Our last year of law school was abruptly altered when the pandemic hit, and we were forced to adapt to unforeseen circumstances and to succeed in unfamiliar territory. We did not know when we were going to have a graduation. We did not know when we were even going to take the bar. We didn't even know how the exam would be administered. Our future, the future we worked so hard to shape, was in shambles. Nobody had answers for us, but we still found the strength to make a way, to stay focused, and to chase our dreams. I want us to remember this because we did it in the pandemic. Now, before I continue my conversation with my fellow graduates, I would like to speak a little about myself. 2020 was a unique year for me because not only was I faced with the unexpectedness of a global pandemic, but I also had to face being Black in America once again. For us Black folks, summer 2020 was painful. In particular, me, I felt hopeless. I seen the videos, I seen the murders. It was impossible just to focus on studying for the bar. But this is nothing new to me. History had once again repeated itself, and I was not surprised by the police brutality and the blatant attack on Black America once again. In fact, it was always ironic to me that I tried so hard to avoid run-ins with the law while pursuing my dreams to become a lawyer. Really ironic. Honestly, most of my peers would not understand the double consciousness that I had to live by and the two different worlds I have to experience every single day. I am from South Central Los Angeles, and according to biased narratives, young Black boys from South Central LA will plague their community and render to their position as a menace to society. So as I get ready for this commencement, I brushed my teeth, I washed my face, and I looked at my reflection, and I realized I was no different than any Black person vulnerable to police terror, self-hatred, and communal decay. While our Blackness is shunned by the greater society, I was bound to be another Black man devastated by the prison system or an early gravesite, conditioned to believe my dreams were impossible and that there was no way I could be true to my community, true to my perspective, and true to my culture while being a portrayal of positivity. Many could not fathom that a young Black boy with an urban appearance could be an attorney. Their sentiments provoked me to show beyond doubt that one could be a depiction of the stigmatized, but be an agent of change. It provoked me to want to shed light on the institutional, structural, and systemic racism, classism, and sexism that plagues America today. Almost 2 years ago, I lost my little brother, and though it left a gaping hole in my heart, I always think about the late night conversations we had talking about our dreams, getting excited about our future, and talking about the day I graduated law school to become a lawyer. That day is here, and though he is not here with me physically, I know his spirit will carry me towards being great, impactful, and transcendent. So with that being said, unfortunately, I still have to fight the streets and the system. something most other lawyers will never experience. But that will not stop me from sharing my story in the process. I will provoke challenging conversation and action on inequality and inequity while encapsulating my perspective of my Blackness that is too often overlooked. I want to show those that look like me that we can succeed at the highest level in the face of bigotry and bias. I will shed light on my struggle and my success, as well as share my privilege with others who need it the most. Now back to the graduates. I want us to take a moment to understand the privilege that we have obtained by graduating law school and becoming attorneys. My father always tells me, with much is given, much is expected and required. This is a sentiment I carry with me every day. I live by this mantra because I understand that I have obtained power that can last for generations. And the knowledge is key to opening doors for many others that do not have the same opportunity and resources that we all have. It is a privilege to become lawyers, and I believe it is our duty to share this privilege. As the late Nipsey Hussle once stated, the highest human act is to inspire, and we are all in search of inspiration every day. So with that being said, do not take this moment for granted. Share your privilege and be the spark to someone who may one day change the world. Now to new beginnings. Congratulations to all my peers who passed the California bar. We passed the bar in a damn pandemic, and no one can ever take that from us. But let's be clear, the job is not finished yet. I know that we are all excited to be receiving this Juris Doctor degree and to have the Esquire title branded on the end of our name. But I know I can speak for all of us when I say this is just the beginning and we have yet to hit the pinnacle of our potential. So celebrate with your family today, but remember, the job is not finished. And as one chapter in our life closed, a new chapter has just begun. And to my graduates who have yet to pass the bar, don't get down on yourselves. We are in a unique situation that we were never truly prepared for, so never give up. You made it this far, so let's get it done. I'm rooting for you. Though the task is formidable, we can handle it. Though the task will not be easy, we did not join this profession expecting a cakewalk. This is why we are here, so embrace the moment and cherish the challenge. And as I quote Nipsey again, the game is going to test you, but never fold. Stay 10 toes down because it is not on you, it is in you, and they can never take that from you. And as I repeat for those who did not hear me, the game is going to test you, but never fold. Stay 10 toes down because it is not on you, it is in you, and they can never take that from you. We got this. Thank you for having me, and congratulations to the Southwestern class of 2020. We did it, Joe. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dante. It's now my honor to introduce the class of 2020's second speaker, Brandon Salambides. After he earned his undergraduate degree in business management from Menlo College, Brandon spent 9 years in the workforce before coming to law school. He shifted from a position at what he described as an ultra-hip firm deeply embedded in Los Angeles's nightlife culture to a financial planning and investment management firm specializing in helping retirees. It was at the latter that he found the satisfactions of earning a client's trust and helping them secure their future. He also found that he was learning so much from the life experience and the thinking of his clients. These things they were sharing with him as he was trying to advise them about how they should organize their economic lives late in their lives. Fortunately for us, and for so many of you, Brandon decided to become a lawyer and entered Southwestern's day program. He became broadly involved in student organizations. He also proved to be an incredibly talented advocate. He won the first-year intramural trial advocacy competition. Thereafter, he was chosen for the Trial Advocacy Honors Program. As a second-year student, he was selected to compete in the national competition, something that Professor Secchi has explained to me is not often done, sending a second year to that competition. Brandon then became a member of the championship team for the California Attorneys for Criminal Justice National Invitational and was also named Best Advocate in that competition. In addition to those accomplishments as an advocate, Brandon demonstrated his talent for leadership as vice president of the Asian Pacific American Law Students Association and as the TAP Board's alumni chair. Brandon, one of the faculty who came to know you well, told me this. Brandon definitely made his mark while at Southwestern, with both his professors and his peers. Brandon is now a trial lawyer representing plaintiffs in civil cases. Brandon.
Thank you, Dean Prager. Ooh, ultra hip nightlife. I think it's time to update the LinkedIn profile. Before I begin, let's just give it up one more time for Dante Paul in that amazing speech. Well, class of 2020, here we are, all the way in 2021, celebrating our graduation. I have to say that after all of this time, it feels amazing to be up here looking at each and every one of your faces, even if it only is half of each of your faces. Now, I knew when we finished this journey that we wouldn't be as fresh-faced as when we started, but I could never have imagined this. Here we are, a graduation, a year late, masked up, socially distanced. Welcome to the new normal, right? The new normal. I must have heard that phrase about 1 million times over the last year and a half. The new normal. The new normal of masks, social distancing, Zoom meetings, lockdown. And it seemed as if that phrase was coined to describe all of the negative feelings that we had during the pandemic. And while the new normal was being added to our everyday vocabulary, it seemed to have us all wondering when we were going to be able to go back to the old normal. But as things start to open back up, and I look back at the last year and a half, I've come to realize that the new normal was just another way of describing change. The dramatic change that we all experienced over such a short period of historical significance. Now, much of that change happened to be dominated by negative headlines. And we all felt the negative impacts of the pandemic. For some of us, it was infinitely more painful and more costly. Hundreds of thousands of deaths, countless lives affected, and social and economic impacts that have yet to be fully understood. But for all the pain and frustration that came with the new normal, the last year and a half saw tremendous change that both gave us strength and ushered in hope. In the last year and a half, we have seen and created new normals that have been a long time coming. A new normal that recognizes and reminds everyone that Black lives matter. A new normal where we no longer turn a blind eye to anti-Asian hate. A new normal where we use our voice en masse to demand accountability from those who are in power. Now, we as law school graduates and lawyers, we are products of the new normal. The class of 2020 was forged in the fires of the new normal, forged in the dramatic change over the last year and a half, and hardened by it. The challenges that we faced turned what should have been one of the most exciting times in our lives into a stressful period of uncertainty. Many of us concluded the last weeks of our law school journey in our rooms, alone, on Zoom. We worried as we waited for the powers that be to decide the fate of the bar exam. Many of us stressed over lost post-bar positions, anxiety over finding a job with looming student debt. And when the bar exam was finally set, we had the uncertainty of being the guinea pigs for an untested online format. But here we are, class of 2020. We are now the masters of Zoom. We have contributed to some of the highest bar passage rates ever. And thanks to the care and persistence of the Southwestern Law School faculty and staff, we are in the Rose Bowl today, celebrating our graduation. A special thanks goes out to the Southwestern Law School faculty and staff for their quick thinking and hard work to provide us with the tools necessary to help navigate through this trying time. Now, I know attorneys today, after all of this time, still that cannot use Zoom, that still cannot find the mute button. I can only imagine how difficult it was to move an entire school and curriculum online overnight. So thank you. If the last year and a half has shown us anything, it has shown us how quickly change can come and how quickly new normals can be defined. And when I look out at all of your faces, when I see all of the talent, all of the hunger, all of the determination, I see a tremendous power to bring about change, to bring about a new normal. Now, Southwestern Law School has always stressed the importance of women in law, and it recognizes the inequalities and disproportionate representation of women in the legal field. I said, let us take this opportunity to create a new normal where women can demand and command what they deserve in the workplace and everywhere else. Southwestern is also known for its diversity of students. It has fostered a diverse student body from all different backgrounds. Backgrounds that don't have the same representation in the legal community as they did in law school. I say, let us take this opportunity to create a new normal where the underrepresented makes their presence known, where we demand a seat at the table. Now, we as lawyers and law school graduates, we have the opportunity, we have the privilege to create a new normal that challenges the conventions of the old ones. A new normal of ethics, a new normal of equality, a new normal of truth. And with all that power, with all that responsibility, with all of that opportunity, I say that it's on us, every single one of us, to go out there and create a new normal. A new normal that we would all love to live in. Southwestern Law School class of 2020, a very, very belated congratulations to you. It's been an honor to share this school with you. It's been an honor to share this struggle with you. And it's an honor to share this stage with you. Thank you so much.
On behalf of our board chair and all of us, thank you, Dante and Brendan, for your superb comments today and for all that you have given Southwestern and your peers. We're honored now to have as our guest speaker the Honorable Kevin C. Brazil, Judge of the Superior Court of Los Angeles. In recent years, Judge Brazil was elected by his judicial peers to serve a term as presiding judge of his court, making him the first African American to lead the largest trial court in the nation, and I think that means also the world. Like so many of you, Judge Brazil was the first in his family to graduate from college. He earned both his undergraduate degree with honors in political science and his law degree at UCLA. Kevin Brazil began his legal career as a civil trial attorney in the Los Angeles County Counsel's office. There, he gained extensive trial experience in multiple substantive realms. He ultimately became the chief of the general litigation section, making him the first African American division chief in the history of the LA County Counsel's office. It's also impressive to me that Kevin Brazil remained in the County Counsel's office for nearly 19 years, from 1984 to 2002. It was only when Governor Gray Davis appointed him to the bench that he was willing to change jobs. Judge Brazil frequently speaks to high school and college students. He firmly believes that if he could pursue education and life as a lawyer, so can they. And he knows that message is most effective if he can bring it to young people personally. Judge Brazil's warmth and magnetic smile signal his tremendous and deeply rooted positive attitudes. There is a saying, attitude is everything. Well, we know it's not everything, but it can be extremely important. And Judge Brazil's life provides an instructive model of how projecting warmth and positivity can magnify a person's impact on others. On a personal note, this is my 8th Southwestern graduation. And by the way, the student speaker that first year was Jemai Graham, who is now a trustee. All of these Southwestern graduations have been special for me, but this long-delayed one is unique. It's also my 24th and final law school graduation as a dean. The first, I realized only when preparing for today, was in May of 1983 at UCLA. I was 40 years old and scared to death. That was the day Kevin Brazil received his JD. So Kevin, I think we are the only two people here today who will have shared my first graduation as a dean and my last graduation as a dean, and I'm certain that you are the only person here who will have received a degree at each one of them. Neither Kevin nor I could have imagined at his graduation in 1983 that he would be elected by his judicial peers to serve them in managing this huge court. Judge Kevin Brazil, before turning the podium over to you, I want to make one thing clear to you and to everyone here. Despite the fact that I called you only about 5 weeks ago, you are the only person who was asked to serve as Southwestern's graduation speaker for the class of 2020. My first and thankfully, because you said yes, the only one offered that role. And we're so grateful to you for bringing your warmth and wisdom to these graduates. Members of the Southwestern class of 2020, the Honorable Kevin J. Brazil.
Good morning, everyone. How are you? All right, let me hear it. Okay. So first off, I wish to thank Dean Susan Westerberg Prager and the entire Southwestern Law School faculty and administration for inviting me to speak to you this morning. It is such a privilege. Congratulations, law school graduates of 2020. You made it. You've done it. Everyone here is so proud of you. I know you are so proud of yourselves. It is a wonderful accomplishment that you have all made by graduating law school in the time of a pandemic, of all things. It's amazing. I know we talked about some of the numbers, but your class, the traditional program, the scale program, the part-time day and night students, well done, well done. I know it's not easy. It was not easy for any of you here. You had to make a lot of sacrifices. You had to put in a lot of hard work, long hours, but you made it. It was worth it. And I must say, you are about to join those of you who have basically passed the bar. All right, you're joining the best profession in the world, in my humble opinion. And one of the things that as I was listening that stands out about this class is 54% of the graduates were women, 45% ethnically diverse. That is outstanding. And to those of you who've passed the bar, congratulations. What an accomplishment. 57% the first time, 81% the second time. And I must tell you, you have to owe that to your law professors, the faculty, your bar prep. So do me a favor, stand up and let's give an applause to our dean who's leaving, our president and of the board of trustees. I know they're not all here, but let's give them an applause. They made it all happen. They're the reason that you're here. They're the reason that you're going to be a success. They're a reason that you're going to add something to the profession. You're going to add something to this community. So I know there's been a lot of talk about COVID-19. Both Dante and Brandon, thank you for those great remarks. Very inspiring. And I know last year, I was in the second year of my 2-year term as a presiding judge of the Los Angeles Superior Court, which is already mentioned the largest court in the state, the nation, and the world. There's probably 600 courtrooms, 39 courthouses, almost 600 bench officers. So it was a pretty awesome job to have. And I was kind of cruising along. Things were going pretty well. I was in the second year. And then the pandemic hit. So everything changed for me as the leader of the LA Superior Court on March 17th of 2020, because that's the day I had to close every single courthouse, every single courtroom in the county of Los Angeles for a period of 3 days. When we reopened the courts on Friday, March 20th, we embarked upon what I call a transformation, a period of where change, the future was being shaped for the courts throughout the state as well as the country. So what does the future hold for the courts in light of the pandemic? Well, for California and for courts throughout the country, it's a reliance more and more on remote technology in terms of video and telephonic appearances, what is oftentimes referred to as Zoom technology. The virtual court, I'm here to tell you, is here to stay. Now, as lawyers, some of you have passed the bar, congratulations. And again, those numbers are just amazing of what you've accomplished in passing the bar during a pandemic. But as lawyers, you will be part of the future where trials, either jury or non-jury, will be done in part and perhaps almost entirely through remote technology. On platforms, as we've already talked about, Zoom, WebEx, Microsoft Teams, you name it. They go on and on. So today in the Los Angeles Superior Court, every single courthouse, every single courtroom has remote technology for hearings, for trials. Currently in civil cases in Los Angeles County, most motions, court appearances are done remotely. Generally, they're done either through video or even cell phones. And I must tell you, I have a civil trial court, so probably 95% of the appearances that I have each day are done remotely and primarily through the audio. And quite frankly, as much as I love all of you as attorneys, I don't need to see you. As long as I can hear you, that's all that matters. And oftentimes the lawyers always tell me it's hard to change my mind, so your presence, your vision to me doesn't really help. It's what's in the papers. So this change from in-person court appearances to video or audio remote appearances has occurred, as we said, in response to COVID-19. However, the need and the option for in-person appearances will always remain, especially in criminal and independency cases. So one of the things that I'm on a committee for the Judicial Council of California, that's the governing body for all the courts, and I'm on a work group, and we're looking at what we call post-pandemic issues. And one of the things we've been doing is we've been holding hearings with various stakeholders and interest groups about what the future needs to look like and after the pandemic. How does remote technology play into that? And just this past week, one of the things that dawned on me was how important it is to have in-person appearances, especially in dependency cases, for example, where you're dealing with children, people who really don't understand, or you're dealing with the elderly, again, people who don't understand, who are a little bit slower, who really don't get it sometimes in terms of using the remote technology. So it just dawned on me and our committee that we really have to make an emphasis on giving people options, giving people flexibility. And that's going to depend upon you, because it's your clients that are going to be coming to the court, and you're going to have to determine, do we come in person? Do we do it remotely? What's best for the client? So now, thankfully, because of the vaccines, we're recovering from COVID-19. Many of the restrictions and the limitations that we've been living with for the past year come June 15th are going to be lifted or reduced and probably eliminated in a lot of ways, such as mask wearing and social distancing. It's a welcome change for all of us. However, the loss and the suffering caused in California, our country, and the world by COVID-19 obviously has been immense and tragic. But just as the courts have remained open during the pandemic, the practice of law must always continue and remain strong when faced with adversity or challenges. As we emerge from the COVID-19 pandemic, it will be up to you to utilize and find the best ways to manage remote technology in trials and in other court proceedings. Now, some of the issues you're going to face when we get to this remote technology revolution that's taking place is dealing with trials. So the remote or the virtual trial, I think, is something here to stay. But one of the problems you are going to face is with what we call virtual jury selection. It started already in some trials in California and throughout the country, but it's been somewhat problematic. So some of the issues you're going to face is the attention span of the jurors when we're dealing with it by remote technology. Distractions to the jurors when you have a virtual jury selection process. The digital divide, which we are finding out more and more, everybody doesn't have that remote technology. Rural areas, low-income areas, they don't have a computer, they don't have internet, they don't have the right broadband, as we say. So that's going to be a struggle. It's going to be one of the challenges that you're going to face. Something else you're going to have to deal with is what we call demonstrative evidence or exhibits, and how do you use those in a digital trial. So those are some of the issues that are going to confront you, but I know you're up to that task to figure it out. One other challenge you're going to face is when you deal with the virtual testimony of a witness, because generally the credibility of the witness is key. So how do you capture that credibility when the witness is not there in person? That's going to be a challenge for you. It's a challenge for the courts now. It's kind of an issue that's working its way through the appellate courts. But for you, you're going to have to figure out, do you bring the witness in? Do you do it remotely? Do you use part of your trial for the in-person testimony or all of it? So these are challenges. These are things that you will have to be the leaders on. You will have to help the courts on, because people often think, well, the courts have all the answers. Well, who are the courts? The courts are you. You're the users of the courts. I was a lawyer before I became a judge. Hopefully some of you will become judges someday. So it's really the lawyers, the people I'm talking to today, you are the ones who are going to have to determine how the legal profession comes out of this pandemic and what we learn from this pandemic. Now, one other issue for our future that we're going to have to be aware of is what's called video remote interpreting. Now, this is relatively new. and it's evolving. In LA County, I believe we have over 200 languages spoken. So using video remote technology is going to be a challenge. There are some guidelines and rules that have been put in place just recently to help it. But as we go through and as it evolves over the future, you're going to have a role in determining how do we best use that. Because again, when you're doing this interpreting, facial expressions, body language, all of these different things go into trying to determine what's being said. So it's a problem. So although when I was the presiding judge and we thought, what are we going to do? How are we going to keep people safe? Because that was the #1 priority for me as the leader of the court, is public safety. So remote technology seemed like an easy solution, and it's worked well, but there are many, many issues and concerns that it has also created. So we're working our way through it. So as you practice law, one of the things you're going to find is most private firms, public sector or government lawyers, they'll be working more and more from remote platforms, probably from home. I have a son, he works for the county counsel's office, and they pretty much got rid of all their offices. Now you don't go to an office, you just go to a room. And most of his work is done online. And maybe every few weeks he'll come in just in person. I guess they want to make sure he's still working, okay, that he hasn't gone someplace. So it's a process, and we're all learning. So I think what you may find is that the traditional law firm is going to change, may even be eliminated, where you won't even go into the office. It'll all be done remotely. Now, whether this remote technology change is good or bad, as I said earlier, it's going to depend upon you. As I remember when I was practicing law, trying cases over 20 some odd years ago, the briefcase kind of was a fashion statement. And now it's, you know, your laptop and your iPhone. And thinking of briefcases, I never could afford one of those Louis Vuitton briefcases. All right, just a little bit out of my reach, but it doesn't matter now because I got the latest iPhone. So what you're also going to see is, in terms of the appellate courts, you're going to see more and more what we call remote oral argument. That's what the 2nd District Court of Appeal here in Los Angeles is doing now. The federal courts are going more and more to remote technology. They still are not doing trials, in-person trials in the federal courts. Eventually they will. I believe next month they're going to start. So whether you're in state court or federal court, you're going to have to be familiar with that remote technology. And I will say, I do know how to use Zoom. I'm from the older generation. Thank you for the millennials who've helped brought us into the new age. But it's the way of the future. And as I said earlier, it's clearly here to stay. So it's an exciting time to become an attorney and to be part of the new transformation occurring in the practice of law. And as I said, you have a role in determining the success of this transformation. So speaking of success, I want to talk about what I call the keys to success for an attorney. First and foremost is humility, which is a quality that any good attorney should have. So when I say humility, what am I talking about? Just being a good person, showing the care, showing the concern, not only to your clients, but to opposing counsel, and especially when you come to court, to the court staff. I can't stress enough to all of you, how you treat the court staff is a reflection on you. And I can tell you, my court staff is like a family to me. So when you're mean or disrespectful to them, guess who hears it? I do, all right? So they can help you in a lot of ways, or they can just allow you to flounder. So I strongly urge you to use that humility. And it's all about just a little kindness and a little caring. As we often say, treat people better than they treat you. Next, in terms of qualities for success, is empathy. And that is something that we all must have. It gives you a better understanding in terms of the perspectives of your case, what issues are involved, and how you're going to really handle that case and what your approach going to be. Because let's face it, the practice of law is dealing with people. A lot of it is personal relationships. So when you're trying to negotiate a settlement or to resolve an issue in a case, a lot of times it's dealing with your counsel, okay, and kind of looking at it from their perspective. You're obviously an advocate for your client, but you have to look at both sides. You have to have that empathy. It makes a difference. In addition, when you combine empathy with humility, we have civility, which is really key to the legal profession. And remember, this is a profession that you are entering into. So civility means everything. And I can tell you as a judge, the worst thing that I just hate it when I see attorneys arguing. I see those letters going back and forth, the emails going back and forth, and I say to myself, can't they just talk to one another? I know there's been a pandemic, but, you know, Skype or do something, but have that conversation, okay? Because our profession, for it to be respected by the public, for it to deserve the reputation that it has nationwide, really comes down to civility. So remember, that is something you must have. Incivility gains you nothing in the eyes of the court. It really doesn't gain you anything in the eyes of your clients either. So remember, it's something you always need to practice. Another key to success is what we call integrity. And this is important in your dealings not only with opposing counsel, your clients, but especially with the court. As an attorney, you're an officer of the court. Now, many of you have taken the bar exam. I think many of you have already taken your oath. And as you remember that oath, I know it's kind of a blur when you're taking that oath, you're so excited, but you did say, and you did acknowledge that you are an officer of the court. So as a judge, that means something. And I always tell attorneys, as an officer of the court, you have a duty of integrity and to be honest and forthright. So when a lawyer tells me something, makes a representation to me, I accept it as true because you are an officer of the court. So one of the things you must do is always guard and protect your integrity. It is essential to the practice of the law, but it's very easy to lose. And once you lose it, it's very hard to gain it back in the eyes of the court, opposing counsel, your clients, and the public. And let's remember, as attorneys, we serve and work for the public. The fourth quality is preparation. As you all know, you've put in the hard work, you've put in the long hours. It's not going to change. In some ways, it's only going to become more of an obligation to make sure you're prepared. I mean, winning cases is about preparation. When you go to trial, when you have a motion, you don't make the facts, you don't make up the law. The one thing you have control over is your preparation. So when you come to court, be ready, all right? I mean, it's preparation that gives you the best chance of winning. That's how you win trials. I always talk to friends and they talk about movies, how a major trial is won in 90 minutes in a movie, and I go, it doesn't work that way. Or on a law show, on a weekly law show that goes on for an hour, and they get this great result, doesn't work that way. You know that. It's all about putting in the time and putting in the effort. And the fifth quality that I want you to remember to be a good lawyer is courage. So what am I talking about? It means taking on those tough cases. It means taking on those cases that are difficult. It means having the courage to say yes, to take on something new, to take on something different, to say, you know what, I can do this. I've got the dedication, I've got the commitment, I've got the preparation, so I'm going to say yes and take on this new challenge. I'm going to take on this complicated case. And you know what? You can do it. So also I want to talk briefly about what I call appreciation. And I think it's been mentioned earlier, please always remember to thank your family, your friends, your relatives, and your significant others. Because without them, you would not be here today. We all need someone to help us. We all need someone to believe in us. We all need someone to support us. We all need somebody to lean on from time to time. And so to the family out in the audience, thank you for being here. We've acknowledged you once. We want to acknowledge you again. And I have a message for you, family. Please never stop being there. They're going to need you. They're going to have to lean upon you. And the one good thing about success, in many ways, it doesn't mean anything and it's truly diminished if you don't have anyone to share it with. And the thing about suffering and the thing about difficulty, you get through it a lot easier when you have family and friends and loved ones to rely upon. So as attorneys, one of the things that you're going to do is you have an awesome responsibility because you will make a difference in people's lives, big or small. You may not, there may be times where you will never know what the difference has been, but you will make a difference. One way to always make a difference is to be a mentor to someone, whether someone in high school, college, or law school, or where you work. It's a way to give back to all of those who've helped you along your journey and your path. So one of the ways in terms of mentoring that we do at the LA Superior Court, we have what's called a judicial mentoring program that we started last year. And that's a program where an active judge is assigned to a mentor or an attorney who wants to become a judge someday. Now, to be a judge, it takes 10 years practice of the law. So what we do is we seek out lawyers who have less than 10 years, we mentor them, and lawyers who have 10 years or are going through the process, we mentor them as well. So my hope is, looking out at all of you today, that someday you'll be part of that mentoring program, either to become a judge or as a judge mentoring someone, all right? Because it's kind of like, it's a cycle. What goes around comes around, and we need you. So in terms of making a difference as attorneys, change and improvements to society, to our communities, to our country, to our world, come from lawyers, all right? Because you are the voice for so many. So remember, always be prepared and always do your best, because you are the voice for so many who really cannot speak for themselves. So also remember, as an attorney, you also have a duty to pursue and ensure justice for all. So I want to say to the speakers we had, the student speakers, those were truly inspiring remarks. And Dante, I get you, my friend. I've been there, all right? I came from South Central. I came from a house where my parents divorced. I came from the struggle, all right? And the new normal. You're right, there is a new normal. But the good thing about it is you're gonna make that new normal better. You're gonna be the ones who are gonna lead us through that new normal. So I am truly grateful. So again, I wanna thank you all for allowing me to speak today. What I have to say in closing is, it's your time. It's now your turn. Make a difference. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Judge Brazil, for your thoughtful words and valuable advice. Each year at this time, Southwestern recognizes individuals who, as respected leaders in their field, now our field, have brought distinction and honor to our profession and to the greater community through their accomplishments and contributions. We do this by conferring an honorary degree of Doctor of Laws from Southwestern Law School. Today we honor one such individual, Judge Kevin Brazil, whose dedication and service has guided him through a most distinguished career, providing a model of outstanding leadership and integrity. You have earned the highest respect and gratitude of your colleagues in the legal profession, the greater community, and everyone at Southwestern Law School. Congratulations.
Well, it's me again. So I just want to say thank you so much for this honorary degree. It's my first one, by the way. So it's really exciting. And I must say to Dean Prager, when you were teaching me community property back at UCLA Law School, who would have thought I would be here today? All right? So I know all of us have a story. All of us have had a journey. We've had a path. We've had a struggle. We've heard about two amazing paths today from Dante and Brandon, and mine was similar to many of yours. So just remember, learn from it, take hold of it, remember who you are, what you mean. You were privileged, you were blessed. So as attorneys, you have a job, you have an obligation, and I know you'll do it well. Always just follow your heart and do what's right. Thank you.
Dante and Brandon, thank you. Dante, the last time we had lunch, you were a 2L and now you're an attorney. You're buying the next lunch. Each year, the graduating class elects a Grand Marshal from the Southwestern faculty to lead the processional line and announce the graduates' names during the commencement ceremony. This year, the selection process was too close to call. So it is my pleasure to introduce the 2 Grand Marshals elected by the class of 2020, Professor John Heilman and Professor Jörg Kniprath, 2 exceptional teachers, one of whom taught me constitutional law. Graduates, before you approach, I remind you of the COVID protocols. Maintain social distance, keep your masks on, do not shake hands. Susan and I are gonna be up here. We're not supposed to shake hands or take pictures or hug you guys, but big hugs and handshaking from right here, right now. We are elated to be here for this moment, regardless of the protocols. Graduates, please approach and help me welcome Professor John Heilman and Professor Jörg Kniprath.
Dean Prager, Chair Fairchild, members of the Board of Trustees and faculty, we are honored to present to you the graduating class for the degree of Master of Laws. The students hereafter named, who have spent the requisite amount of time in the study of law as determined by the faculty and Board of Trustees of Southwestern Law School, qualify for the degree of Master of Laws. Will the candidates please approach the stage?
Announcing the candidates for the Master of Laws General Program.
Victoria Oseni.
Roxana Popescu.
Paul Yanis.
Dean Prager, Chair Fairchild, members of the Board of Trustees and the faculty, I have been bestowed the honor of presenting to you the candidates for the degree of Juris Doctor. The students hereafter named, who have spent the requisite amount of time in the study of law, as determined by the faculty and Board of Trustees of Southwestern Law School, qualify for the degree of Juris Doctor. Will the candidates please approach the stage?
Announcing the candidates for the Juris Doctorate full-time day program. Nadia Marie Abujada.
Alexis Bartholomew.
Lauren Reynes.
Melissa Zigrang.
Janie Rose Mathis.
Megan Rutenberg.
Alan Davidson.
Kelsey Finn.
Ashley Coley.
Brisa Andrade.
Marine Devishyan.
Andrew Figueras.
Brandon Charles Salambutis.
Hussein Ishagi.
Levon Darkalustian.
Herbert Anthony Benitez.
Matthew Allen Goldberg.
Kimberly Casper.
Manelli Gregorian.
Andrew James Casmer.
Chizitri Nadi.
Dante Paul.
Brianna Abrego.
Gabriela Correa.
Angelica Baez Martinez. Rose Harriet. Aladrina Suarez.
Jennifer Covarrubias.
Jonathan Jung.
Wilfredo Mercado.
Blake Newman.
Brian Guzman.
Sophia Jeanette Gillespie.
Benjamin Israel.
Haley Gallo.
Sanaz Mirza Hosseini.
Haig Hogdanian.
Robert W. Lee II.
Aiden McArkicle.
Bree Rena Menon.
Samantha Joaquin.
Taylor Kaster.
Arlen Kachaturians.
William Alma Mills.
Allison McWilliams.
Arlene Mailspin.
Medusha Nanakara.
Allison Newman.
Sarah Tavacoli. Sarah Tavacoli.
Elise Sadame Okada.
Ariel Rahimi.
Nairi Tara Partamian.
Elizabeth Ann Ciruno. Catherine Stuckey.
Ian Toe.
Serene Jaburian.
Christina Azoyan.
Maria Mary Kashishian.
Announcing the candidates for the Juris Doctor part-time evening program.
Brandon Michael Faust.
Jared Robert Timmons.
Announcing the candidates for the Juris Doctor Please and Part-Time Day Program. Spencer Barrett.
Leticia Valencia.
Christina Charles. Harriet Fisher.
Rena Brand Kasnet.
Blanca Mabel Retamoso Pilico. Crystal Goodwin. Joe Oakley.
Anita Wasilewska. Ani Sofowitz.
Announcing the candidates for the Juris Doctor Scale 2-year program.
Francis Erica Ogoncillo.
William Baker.
Wendy Bonilla.
Angela Andrea Julia Colon.
Rami Ozer.
Jessica Song.
Wayne Dong.
Nairi Yusefian.
Nagin Rashidi. How are you?
Adam Quinn Feldman.
Shant Gorgian.
On behalf of the faculty and staff, congratulations to each and every one of you. I want to emphasize that your faculty will continue to be resources for you. And believe it or not, as your professional life unfolds, before you know it, you will begin to be resources for them. So don't think about it as prevailing on your faculty. Stay in touch. I know that many of you will, because it's such an important part of the Southwestern culture to have so many alums continue to be involved with current students. So I think we almost have everyone back to their seats. I'm going to ask you all to rise. We're coming to the time in the great tradition of academia that signifies your graduation from law school. So I'm going to ask you to move your tassels to the left. I want to thank each and every one of you in the graduating class for making it a priority to be here. It has been a wonderful and satisfying graduation for me, and I know for so many on the faculty and staff, I hope so much that it has been for you and your families. So I'd like to now request that the graduates remain standing in your seats until the trustees and faculty seated on the field to your right have all exited their seats. I want you graduates to be sure to follow the faculty to the tunnel in a single file line. We will soon exit the stage and then the faculty will follow us. Graduates and treasured family and friends, Southwestern's 105th graduating class has at last been honored and celebrated, and this ceremony has reached its end.
Hello, and congratulations to the class of 2020. I'm Professor Yokoyama, or Professor Yoko, or just Yoke, and I think you're all just awesome. I'm so happy that this very special class has this opportunity to share commencement with one another. Your last semester of law school was interrupted by a once-in-a-lifetime pandemic, and you had to shelter in place and shift to an online learning environment in a blink of the eye. You had to gain experience and master learning online for your spring classes and for the bar review. You had to take the bar exam remotely for 2 grueling days. And the results of your hard work and I can do it attitude led to a fantastic bar exam result for Southwestern students. Going forward, you should be confident that there's precious little that you cannot accomplish. You've proven you can handle intense adversity and achieve your many goals. Let me also congratulate your family and friends whose support helped you get past this finish line. Congratulations once again to the class of 2020 and best wishes for your future careers.
This is Professor Aronofsky. Congratulations, class of 2020. Graduating from law school is such a great accomplishment, and you have so much to be proud of, and we're certainly proud of you. I've had the pleasure of getting to know many of you during your time at Southwestern, whether as students in my environmental law, ADR, or scale civil procedure classes. I'm looking forward to seeing all of you at the Rose Bowl to celebrate your graduation and all that you've accomplished. Congratulations again.
Congratulations, Southwestern Law School class of 2020. You've already shown us you're so resilient. We can't wait to see your success in the future. So from me, Professor Vasquez, to you, congratulations, class of 2020. You did it.
Congratulations, class of 2020. I've only met some of you, but I wish you all the very best in this very special day, and would be delighted to hear from any of you and help any and all of you if there's anything else I can do for you in the future. Best wishes to all. Congratulations.
Hi everyone, I'm Professor Paul Bateman. Congratulations to the Southwestern Law School class of 2020, and especially to the Scale class of 2020, whom I had the pleasure of teaching. Good luck to everyone, and hats off to you all.
To the class of 2020, I want to say congratulations on your graduation. You persevered through
most difficult time I can imagine, and certainly the most difficult time I've seen in all my years as a law professor. And yet you not only persevered, but you triumphed, as we can see from those phenomenal, miraculous, generational bar results that you achieved. So congratulations on that as well. And I hope that the bonds you formed by going through this adversity will stay strong throughout your careers, that you'll always look out for each other and remember where you came from. So congratulations to all of you. Please know that we're always here for you. We are always your home whenever you need anything. And I cannot wait to celebrate with you at the Rose Bowl very, very soon. Be well, and I hope you all will stay in close touch.
Hello, class of 2020. Congratulations on this wonderful occasion where we're finally able to celebrate your graduation. Thank you also for having selected me as one of the Grand Marshals for this day. I hope to be there as I record this, but it is possible that I will be unable to attend, but that doesn't diminish the appreciation I have for this great honor. This is a great occasion for you. I am very proud of what you've done. You must be very proud of what you've done, and I hope your families and your friends are able to be with you at this difficult time and to be able to enjoy this day with you. Again, congratulations, and please keep in touch. Let me know how things go, and best of luck in your professional career.
Class of 2020, it's already been a year since your graduation, but we're still celebrating you and continue to be incredibly proud of your class, all your accomplishments, and what you're now doing as alumni of the school. In my role in externships, I talk to a lot of judges and a lot of attorneys, and what I always hear is how special Southwestern students are. And I know that's the case with you. I know it's the case with you as alums. And I want to invite you back in a few years when you're ready to take on externs, to mentor a student, to please reach out and to definitely stay in touch. We hope it's been a good year for you, and now you're celebrating again with the commencement ceremony that we have for your class, and you're going to continue to be a part of the Southwestern community. Hope to see you on campus sometime soon.
Woo! It's Sunday. You know what that means, don't you? It's a big day in... Wait a minute. It's not a big day in class. This is not class. Let's get rid of this. This is a huge day in your lives. This is graduation day, the class of 2020. I love this class, and I'm so proud of each one of you. You've accomplished so much, and selfishly, I've been so lucky and been so honored to have been your professor to many of you in class. I love teaching at Southwestern. Why? Well, I had the opportunity to work with some absolutely fantastic staff, colleagues, and of course our deans, Dean Prager and our other deans. And no offense to any of them, but the real reason, and you know it, the real reason why I love being here is because of you. I have the wonderful opportunity of teaching you and being part of a family together. So congratulations. I love you all very much. Selfishly, on a wonderful day like today, I'm a bit sad because I miss you so terribly much. It's been a long time. Please stay safe, be well, stay in touch, and again, congratulations, class of 2020.
Hi, everyone. This is Michael Epstein. Many of you took my Business Associations class. Others may have had me for mass media, law and literature, or the First Amendment seminar. And there may even be a few of you who worked with me on JIMO or in the Amicus Project Practicum. Thank you for your good work and for your professionalism. Despite the tribulations of the COVID pandemic, you got the job done. Congratulations to the class of 2020.
I'd like to wish everybody a very warm and hearty congratulations. You are the class of 2020, and you ended the last 2 months of your year in law school with a bang. And it showed such great resolve and grit to have the flexibility that you showed to get through it all, to get through the bar. We are so proud of you. And I have no doubt that your grit and your resolve and your motivation will stand you in great stead throughout your professional career. And a very warm congratulations to your families who stood behind you and beside you. I have no doubt that the best is yet to come. Congratulations to all.
Congratulations, class of 2020. It took a lot of hard work to reach this milestone. I hope you feel great about what you've accomplished, and I hope you continue to strive for those things that are worthwhile and important in life. Congratulations on your achievement, and best wishes for a successful career.
Hello everyone, my name is Professor Schindler. As most of you know, I've either had you probably in CalBar Writing or Remedies or the MBE, somewhere along the lines, bar coach, something like that. I just wanted to say congratulations to all of you. I'm so glad that you finally get to celebrate your graduation. I know it has been a long time coming, and I know most of you sat through a grueling 5 months of bar prep and uncertainty and unknown, and you have climbed the mountain and succeeded. And I just want to say congratulations, and I wish you the best, and stay in touch. I love it when students come back 5 years later even and say, hey, this is what's happening. So stay in touch, don't be a stranger, and enjoy your success.
Hi everyone, I want to extend a warm congratulations to our amazing graduates. You have all completed law school through a time of many unknowns in the world. You should all be very proud of the resiliency and dedication you have shown throughout your time at Southwestern. I wish each of you nothing but the very best as you move forward in your legal careers. Congratulations, Bison.
Dear class of 2020, this is long overdue, but congratulations. We are all so very proud of you, and we're looking forward to celebrating with you at the Rose Bowl. We know this past year has been nothing but hectic, but we hope the celebration will give you a chance to pause and reflect on your huge accomplishment in graduating from Southwestern. When the school reopens, please come visit us. We always look forward to seeing our alumni. Southwestern will always be here for you, and go Bison!
Dear class of 2020, you made it. Congratulations on your hard work, dedication, and steadfastness to get you here during these unprecedented times. You should feel extraordinarily proud of your accomplishments and reflect on them often. I wish you the very best in your endeavors. Of course, best wishes on the bar exam. As you navigate your legal careers, remember that you will always be Bison strong. Congratulations again.